Honorable members, we have quorum to transact business. Clerk.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, order. Take the nearest seats. Take the nearest seats, buddy. Which is the nearest? Order, honorable member. Honorable members, I have a short communication to make. Honorable members, this is in relation to the annual National Prayer Breakfast of this year, 2023. Honorable members, as you may be aware, the Bunge Prayer Fellowship Group shall host the 20th Annual National Prayer Breakfast on Wednesday, 31st May, 2023 at the Safari Park Hotel in Nairobi. The theme of this year's breakfast is reconciliation with God and with men, and I believe with women as well, as anchored in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 18. The prayer breakfast is expected to be attended by over 2,500 guests from our own country and also from across the world, including leaders from the political class, top government officials, members of the diplomatic corps, the clergy, the business community, and Kenyans from diverse backgrounds. Honorable members, this year's prayer breakfast, just like the previous ones, is an interdenominational prayer meeting organized by members of the Bunge Prayer Fellowship, whose membership is drawn from both houses of parliament. The Honorable Samuel Chepkonga, CBS MP, and Senator Daniel Manzo, MP, are the co-chairpersons of the fellowship. Honorable members, you are all invited to this very important event, which shall provide an opportunity to meet and seek divine intervention for Kenya at such a time as this. Towards this end, members are requested to confirm attendance with the Office of the Clerk by Friday, 26th May 2023, in order to facilitate seating arrangements. For orderliness, you will be issued with invitation cards to the event. Honorable members, you may contact the Honorable Samuel Chepkonga, CBS MP, or Senator Daniel Manzo, MP, for any further clarification on the event. I thank you. Honorable members, I also have a ruling that I'll deliver at 3:30.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you know the members around me. When you read out the communication about the prayer breakfast, many members around me are doubting those prayers because of the inclusion of Honorable Chepkonga. But I have assured them he is a very prayerful person and a committed Christian. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 4th May 2023. 1, the Multilateral Convention to implement tax treaty-related measures to prevent base erosion and profit shifting from the National Treasury and Economic Planning. 2, reports of the Auditor General and financial statements in respect of the following institutions for the financial year ended 30th June 2022 and the certificates therein. A, Lands Limited. B, Kenya Fisheries Service. C, Kenya Veterinary Board. D, Pest Control Products Board. E, Kenya Sese Sassafly and Trypanosomiasis Eradication Council. F, Kenya Development Corporation. G, National Government Constituency Development Fund Board. H, Water Resources Authority. I, Tourism Fund. The National Environment Trust Fund. Hydrologist Registration Board. Egerton University, and M, Machakos University. 3, report of the Auditor General and financial statements on revitalizing Irish potato production for COVID-19 affected small-scale producers project. IFAD grants number 200003589 and 200003960 for the 14 months period ended 28 February 2023, and the certificates therein from Agriculture and Food Authority. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Our member for delegation, Emmanuel Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 3rd May 2023. Report of the Kenya delegation to the Entrepreneurship and Financial Training Program for Women Entrepreneurs and Certification ceremony held in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia on 27th February to 3rd March 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Wangwe. Chairperson, Committee on Public Petitions. Who is the chairperson? Majority Leader? Who is your chair on public petitions?
And the vice chair.
Is there any member of that committee? Where is your chairman, Kitayama?
Vice chair.
Honorable Speaker, the chairman is around. He's just not walked into the chamber, but he's around.
He's around? Okay, we'll come back to that. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Health. Leader of Majority, you are always privy to the order of business. Please ensure that any chairman or chairperson of a committee who is reflected on the order paper must be in the chamber by 2:30. I think this is a matter that we have discussed even in House Business Committee. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Health, Honorable Dr. Bukose.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 4th May 2023. Reports of the Departmental Committee on Health on 1. The second Public Health Conference in Africa held from 13 to 15 December 2022, held in Kigali, Rwanda. 2. The 14th Network of African Parliamentary Committees of Health (NEOPACO) meeting held from February 22nd to 23rd, 2023 in Kampala, Uganda. 3. Universal Health Coverage benchmarking visit to Thailand from 7 to 12 March 2023. And 4, the benchmarking visit to South Africa Medical Research Council, University of Cape Town, and Center for the AIDS Program of Research in South Africa from 13th to 23rd March 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Bukose. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Where is
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Gikaria, go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 4th May 2023. Reports of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining on its consideration of the ratification of the following. 1. The amended Nairobi Convention and the Protocol for the Protection of Marine and Coastal Environment of the Western Indian Ocean from land-based sources and activities. 2, the Kigali Amendments on the Montreal Protocol on the substance that deplete the ozone layer. And lastly, number 3, the Bamako Convention on the ban on the importation into Africa and the control of transboundary movement and management of hazardous waste within Kenya. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Gikaria. Next, Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation. Marwa, is that, you are the chair?
Vice Chair,
Vice Chair, go
Mr.
ahead.
Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, 4th May 2023. Report of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on its attendance of the second edition of the Southwest Indian Ocean Ministerial Summit held from 5th to 7th April 2023 in Seychelles. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works. Johanna Ngeno, is that you? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, 4th May 2023. Report of the Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works on its participation at the World of Concrete Forum held in January 2023 in Nevada, United States of America. I thank you.
Thank you. We'll go back to see the Chairperson, Committee on Public Petitions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would first want to apologize to the Speaker and the House for coming in late. I know I'd been called before, but I'm sorry for that. Mr. Speaker, without indulgence, allow me. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, that is 4th May 2023. Report on the Public Petitions Committee on its considerations on the public petition number 07 of 2022 by the Honorable Samuel Atandi, MP, regarding probable loss of investments by Insighton High Yield Solutions platform. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Nimrod. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining, Honorable Gikaria.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining on its consideration of the ratification of the Kigali Amendments on the Montreal Protocol on the substances that deplete the ozone layer, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 4th May 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8, subsection 4 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act of 2012, approves the ratification of Kigali Amendments on the Montreal Protocol on the substance that depletes the ozone layer. 2, Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining on its consideration of the ratification of the amendment, Nairobi Convention and the Protocol for Protection of Marine and Coastal Environment of the Western Indian Ocean from land-based sources and activities, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 4th May 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 4, provisions of Section 8, subsection 4 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act of 2012, approves the ratification of the amendment of the amended Nairobi Convention and the Protocol for Protection of Marine and Coastal Environment of the Western Indian Ocean from land-based sources and activities. And lastly, Honourable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining in its consideration of the ratification of the Bamako Convention on the ban of importation into Africa and the control of transboundary movement and management of hazardous waste within Africa, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 4th May 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8, subsection 4 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act of 2012, approves the ratification of the Bamako Convention on the ban of the importation into Africa and control of transboundary movement and management of hazardous waste within Africa. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. We have statements.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Do we have any statements? Majority Leader, your usual Thursday statement.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2A, I rise to give the following statement on behalf of the House Business Committee, which met on Tuesday, 2nd May 2023, to prioritize the business for consideration during the week. Honourable Speaker, I wish to commend the leadership of the House and members for the dedication and cooperation exhibited in this session so far. We have certainly been able to meet the statutory timelines in respect of all matters that were before us. We are now due for the long break commencing tomorrow, going by our calendar of regular sittings. The House is scheduled to resume regular sittings on Tuesday, 6th June 2023 at 2:30 p.m. Honourable Speaker, members may wish to note that this will be a particularly busy recess for departmental committees and the Budget and Appropriations Committee, as well as the Finance Committee, as they engage with ministries, departments, and agencies on the budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024, submitted in the course of this week. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, there are various matters relating to bills, treaties, approval hearings, inquiries, and responses to statements still pending before committees. I therefore urge all our committees, their chairs and members to be present and actively participate in ensuring that all these matters are concluded and reports brought to the House upon resumption on the 6th of June at 2:30 p.m. Honourable Speaker, upon resumption, the House is expected to continue with debate on the second reading of the Statute Miscellaneous Law, the Miscellaneous Amendments Bill of 2022, the general debate on the proposal to amend the Constitution and the standing orders, and the report on the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, should they not be concluded today. The House Business Committee will reconvene on Tuesday, 6th June 2023, to schedule the business for the rest of that week. Honourable Speaker, I also note that question time in the plenary in the past few weeks has proceeded well as Cabinet Secretaries appear in the plenary to answer questions and expound on policies under their respective dockets. I would like to thank all members for their continued participation in this process. Upon resumption of the House, Honourable Speaker, I will notify members on which Cabinet Secretaries will appear in plenary during that week and the questions that will be responded to then. Honourable Speaker, in conclusion, I want to wish members a wonderful recess period as they spend time with their families, rejuvenate, and also discharge their parliamentary and constituency obligations. Honourable Speaker, as I have noted in this statement, this is one of our long recess in the first session after the short recess that we had. And the 4 weeks that will be on recess, Honorable Speaker, will be a 4 weeks working recess. And even as I note that NWISH members time with their families, that will be because they will be able to get home earlier than usual. As you are aware, Honorable Speaker, the House rises at 7, on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. And therefore, members do get to their families late. But during the recess, since the committees will be sitting from 9 in the morning, you will have much more time with your families. But I want to ask you to please avail yourselves in committees, especially in consideration of the budget estimates and the finance bill, and in consideration of all the bills, treaties, approval hearings, and reports that are before the committees. And hopefully when we resume on the 6th of June, all these reports shall be ready for tabling and debate before the House. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay this statement on the table of the House. Thank you.
Majority Leader, in case it escaped your mind, yesterday the Speaker directed the Minister for Education to appear before the House on the first Wednesday after recess to continue answering the myriad of questions that were unasked yesterday when he appeared. So you may just include that in your statement.
Sure.
For purposes of Hansard.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you for that reminder. Honorable Speaker, may I just include, as you have stated, on resumption, Honorable Speaker, on the 6th of June, on the 7th, Wednesday, 7th June, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, the Honorable Ezekiel Machogu, will appear to answer to the questions that were left pending yesterday as directed by the Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 8, procedural motion, extension of period for consideration of nominees for appointment as members of the Judicial Service Commission.
The Honorable Murugara, Chair JLAC.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the procedural motion on extension of period for consideration of nominees for appointment as members of the Judicial Service Commission, that pursuant to the provisions of Section 13 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 2011 relating to extension of period for consideration of nominees for appointment to the to a public office, this House resolves to extend the period for consideration of the nominees submitted by His Excellency the President for appointment as members of the Judicial Service Commission by a period of 14 days from that